Bring it a blazing.
Maestro,
Hi, how are you?
it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Great to have you join us for this edition of Discover UC.
Glad to be here.
Excellent. So we'll go for a little ride, have a little conversation. So it's been about a year now since you were introduced as the West Virginia Symphony's music director. So how's your first year been?
It's been great. Really a fantastic ride so far, getting off to a great start. The orchestra has been wonderful and super welcoming, and as I'm sure you know, this is a brilliant orchestra full of amazing musicians, and it's been a real joy to work with them. And everyone in the community, from the people who live in the community, the people who are involved with the symphony, the people on the board, it's just been such a welcoming environment, and building a new home here. So I'm very happy.
Excellent. Well, we're always glad when new people feel like the community's embracing them and they're happy to be here. I know that's certainly how my wife Lynn and I felt when we first arrived in 2018. So how did you first know or come to realize that you wanted to have a career in music?
So I started as a cellist, and I was a cello student. When I was a kid, picked the cello kind of randomly. My friend of mine played the cello. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. But I got serious about it later, and I originally went to school for cello and was going to be a professional cellist. And then I was at conservatory and got a part-time job, as everybody does, on the weekends, and I was working for the youth orchestra, the local youth orchestra at the school that I was attending, and mostly as a cello coach, but also doing a little bit of conducting when they needed an extra person. And I really liked it. And it was, sort of a different perspective on music, and you got to think about musical issues in a different way, and that was really interesting. And so I started doing more of that, and then once I finished my cello degree, I decided to pivot and switch to conducting. So then I've been doing that ever since.
Now here in West Virginia, what's been your kind of geographical journey as you've kind of made your way ultimately to being here with us in Charleston?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Illinois.
Okay.
And then I went to school a couple different places in Ohio, and then in upstate New York in Rochester. And then immediately previous to this, I have been the assistant conductor of the Dallas Symphony for the last couple of years before coming to this position. And so that's been in Texas for the last couple of years, and now here.
So what so far has struck you as unique or different about Charleston, West Virginia?
I would say, a couple things. When I was here as a guest conductor, before they decided who they wanted to be the next music director, they invited, many people to come and guest conduct and work with the orchestra, get to know people, and I was here as a guest conductor and was really struck by how much community support there was for the orchestra especially, but not just the orchestra, all of sort of the arts and cultural life of the city and the county. And it was really inspiring to, be in the middle of that kind of community that really cares about the future of the symphony and of music and music education. And so that was definitely one thing that stood out to me. And then I have to, we talked, you asked me where I've lived, and I've enjoyed things, about all the different places I've lived in, but I would say that they haven't all necessarily been the most beautiful places. And one thing about West Virginia is there's just, everywhere you look is just gorgeous.
Sure.
And 5 minutes away from anywhere is just like, it looks like a postcard. And so, that was quite a nice thing, a nice little change from, my previous locations.
Sure. So you mentioned kind of going through the kind of interview and audition process. That's one of the things that really struck me was how many candidates the symphony brought in as part of that process. Now, is that standard in your industry, that when a symphony is looking for a new musical director or conductor, that they'll have many people come? And if so, how was that for you, being a candidate, knowing that that process was just going to be a long one by the nature of how many people were going to be involved?
Absolutely, yeah. It is. It's very standard, and orchestras have to plan so far in advance that you really want to spend some time with someone and get to know the person in a lot of different contexts. And also, as a candidate, you want to get to know the orchestra and the community in a lot of different contexts. And you don't just want to, read off a piece of paper, a resume or something. You want to meet people, and so it's important to, give that process as much time as it needs.
Interesting. So, as with most industries, lots of changes happen. So tell us about some of the kind of more recent things that have evolved in the music industry, and what are some things that you see and ultimately kind of we as people who enjoy music can expect to see on the horizon?
Sure. Well, I think, and thinking about maybe orchestras in particular, we are a long ways away from the sort of old prince and princess court musician as the orchestra. But that, some of the trappings of that, some of the cultural trappings of the kind of aristocratic background of the institution, have unfortunately survived longer than I think anybody intended. And so we are not just we, West Virginia Symphony, all orchestras are, and I certainly am, trying to really get out from any sort of stuffiness, or we want to take the music very seriously, but we don't want to take ourselves all that serious. We're really trying to make sure that our mission here is that we really believe in this music. We believe that it's powerful, that it's meaningful, that it's memorable, and that it makes people's lives better. And we want that experience to be available to everybody.
Yeah, excellent. Just kind of make things more accessible and feel a bit more mainstream.
Exactly.
And not as exclusive. That's great. And hopefully with kind of your youth and your energy, that'll help accomplish that goal. So one of the things that the city of Charleston really embraces is Symphony Sunday. And we're, of course, honored that we get to host that on the University of Charleston back lawn each year. So what do you have up your sleeve for 2024 Symphony Sunday?
Well, I will say, incidentally, so 2023 Symphony Sunday was my first day on the job. That was the first thing I ever did as music director, and it was so much fun, and I'm really excited for this year. The partnership we have with you, we're very grateful for and very excited about. The AVN Corp Symphony Sunday theme of the year is Wild, Wild West Virginia. So we are going to be playing a lot of great music from all different kinds of music, but with a little extra focus on sort of music from westerns and, the theme from Magnificent Seven, John Williams' Cowboys Overture, a little bit of fun stuff like that. So we're going to do that, which will be great. There's, of course, as I discovered last year, the Symphony Sunday itself, the ice cream, which is, for some reason, when I first heard about Symphony Sunday, it didn't fully click with me that there would, of course, be a Symphony Sunday. And then I showed up, and it was fantastic. So that will, of course, remain. And a special treat at the end of the night, of course, our annual fireworks. So we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's an incredible day, and so many kind of great musicians and ensembles have an opportunity to perform in front of such a large and casual venue, culminating with your symphony always performing at such a high level. So I know I'm excited, and the community always comes out in force for the event. So we're excited, and we're excited to have you here in Charleston, and hope that your time here continues to be as enjoyable and invigorating as it's been in your first year, and appreciate you taking some time to spend it with me and all of our viewers on Discover UC.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
you so much.
Great to see you, Maurice.
Cheers.